Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. And today I want to explain something that is critical if you want to get better at managing your time and ultimately to become more productive. And this is the concept of time. Now, time and activity are two sides of an equation. We have time on one side and we have activity, those are the tasks and things that you have to do, on the other side. Now, of these two sides, only one do you have any control over. That's the activity side. The time side, you have absolutely no control over whatsoever. We get given 24 hours a day and that's it. Now, it doesn't matter whether there's 150 tasks lined up on your task manager for today, you've got 8 hours of meetings, you've got your kids to drop off and pick up from school, you've got to go and collect your elderly parent from the hospital. None of that matters when it comes to time because the time is still fixed. Just because you've got a busy day does not mean time is miraculously going to become 28 hours for the day. No, you still only get the 24 hours. Now you can go around blaming time, saying, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time. But the question I would ask at that point is, where is that going to get you? Is that going to solve your time management issues? The answer is no, it will not solve your problem. What you need to do is you need to look at the activity side of the equation and start making some very difficult decisions. First up, what's really important to you at a life level? Now, I put together an areas of focus workbook that is completely free of charge. It's available on my website. I'm not even going to ask you for your email address. All you need to do is go to my downloads page, download the workbook, and give yourself a week or two to go through it and define what is important to you. Now, when it comes to this time management system, or time management if you like, we've got to know what our non-negotiables are. So let's just say, in the example I just gave you, that you've got to take your kids to school and you've got to pick them up again. That's actually fantastic because now you've got some markers in the day because that time is actually fixed. You've got to drop your kids off at school at the start of the day, so that could be 8:30, and again you've got to pick them up again in the afternoon at 4:30. That's fantastic. Now let's just say either side of that you need an hour. So you need 30 minutes to get to the school, 30 minutes to get back to wherever you're doing your work. Plus you've got to do the same in the evening, so that's 2 hours gone already. That's fine, but they are fixed in the day. It should be a non-negotiable part of your day. Anything related to your family, your kids, your parents, your husband, your wife, your partner, whatever, that should be non-negotiable. They should be like fixed in the calendar anyway. Now, okay, you've got 8 or 9 hours of meetings, which I am often surprised when I'm working with people and I see their calendar. I mean, how have they ever let themselves get into a position where they've got 6 to 8 hours of meetings in a day? This is what I mean about sometimes you have to have the difficult conversations. If I was to look at my calendar for, say, tomorrow, and I had even 5 hours of meetings, I would start picking up the phone or sending email to renegotiate some of those meetings. Do I really need to attend every single one of those meetings? Can I find a meeting that really I don't need to be there? Because I need that time back. I don't want to be sitting in a meeting that has no relevance to me or very little relevance to me, or even a meeting where somebody else can take notes and send me later. Now, those are the difficult conversations because presumably you have to speak to your boss, or you may have to speak to somebody who's a close friend, a colleague or something. But you still need to have the courage to have that conversation. There's no point in complaining about it because that will not get you anywhere. That will not solve the problem. The problem will only be solved if you have that difficult conversation. Now, if you've got like 300 emails to actually manage, and I've got a day where, okay, let's say argument's sake, I've got to take my kids to school, pick them up, I've got 5 hours of meetings, and I cannot get out of those meetings because I am critical to those meetings, plus I've got 300 emails, and I want to exercise. Now, it's not that I don't have the ability to do exercise. It's not that I don't have the ability to respond to emails or do these meetings or pick up my kids from school. I can do all of those things. The problem is I cannot do all of those things in one day. Not if I actually want to get some sleep. Now, that is an option. I could do an all-nighter and just give up on sleep. But how am I going to feel the next day? How effective am I going to be the next day? It's not something that is actually going to bring me a particular benefit in this situation. So what I'm going to be doing on a day like that is, first thing's going to go is email, because email is never urgent. No matter how you might feel, email should never be urgent. If people are emailing you as if it was instant messaging, then you again need to have that difficult conversation and explain that you never treat email in that way. You haven't got time to treat it like instant messaging. And even if your clients and customers expect responses, that's just a figment of your imagination. When somebody sends an email, they never have an expectation of getting an instant reply. That expectation is something you put on yourself. And if now it's become the norm, you've got to have that difficult conversation and explain that if they need to get in touch with you urgently, then it needs to come through a different channel. One where you can actually do it on the fly, do it on the run, not email. So you've got to start thinking strategically, because the time side of it is not negotiable. That's 24 hours. That's all you've got. If you are fighting that side of it, you will inevitably lose. What you need to look at is the activity side and get real about that. What are you capable of doing each day? Where do you want to spend your time each day? I know I've talked about it in the Time Sector System course that you need to establish what your core work is. Your core work is the work that you are employed to do. For example, a salesperson sells. So any activity that puts you at risk of making a sale, that's your core work. A teacher teaches. Any activity involving teaching, that's your core work. Doing attendance records is not your core work, because that's not going to help you teach your students. That's going to help the admin department, but it doesn't help you teach your students. So it helps you to prioritize the work that's coming at you when you know what your core work is. But please, I beg you, don't fight time. You cannot win that fight. Always look at the activity. What are you trying to accomplish each day? What are your non-negotiables? For me, family is non-negotiable. I try to spend 2 to 3 hours a day totally focused with my family. Out of 24, that's easy to do. It doesn't matter how busy I am. My dog still needs walking every day. That's an hour. I usually, hopefully, most of the time, my wife will come with me. So we get family time when we're walking the dog. I also like to sit down at the end of the day and have dinner with my wife. We don't generally have breakfast together because we breakfast at different times, but we do try and sit down and have dinner together. It's a non-negotiable part of my day, but we're only talking 45 minutes, but it adds up. Each day we get 2 to 3 hours of quality family time. For me, that's non-negotiable. I will push off email. I might even try to cancel a meeting or postpone a meeting in order to get that in, because I'm not afraid to have those difficult conversations. Sometimes if you want a break, don't fight the one side you cannot win. Look and have those difficult conversations where you might be able to influence a meeting by changing it or cancelling it. You might have complete control over what you do in the day, but don't fight the parts that you cannot control, because A, it's waste of energy, B, it's going to stress you out, and C, you'll never win it anyway. So hopefully that's clarified some of what I mentioned in that video, in my previous video about the basics way of managing time. I urge you to go back and look at that, and with the acceptance that you cannot manage time. You can't change it. It's fixed. Look at your activity. What are your non-negotiables? What's important to you? And what can you push off, if necessary, to another day? Well, thank you so much for watching this video. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done, so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.